Hi, seventh graders. It is our last day of diagramming sentences. I know you're super sad that we're not going to be diagramming sentences next week. Just kidding. Our last day. Hopefully this is helping you see the role each word plays in the sentence, and I think it'll help you be better at writing as well as reading and understanding what role those words play in the sentence. So today it's kind of going to be a review of everything, but the focus will be on adverbs and how to add those in. But just know that some of the questions will have adjectives, obviously subject and verb. There'll be direct objects, there'll be indirect objects, as well as now adding in adverbs. So if you need to go back and review the examples that I gave from the last couple days, you can do that as well. But I did try to give an example of each that will cover everything that I'm looking for in your assignment. So we're going to start with, let's talk about adverbs for a second. Adverbs are words that describe verbs. So you're going to put it underneath the verb, not underneath the subject or the direct object. You're going to put it under the verb. So adverbs answer the question how. When you have a verb and you ask the question how, adverbs answer that question. So if someone runs fast, how do they run? Fast. Fast would be an adverb for run. It depends on how it's worded in the sentence, but if you can say how they do whatever the verb is and the word answers that question, then that's your adverb. So that's how you look for adverbs. So indirect objects answer the question who when you talk about the verb. Direct objects answer the question what when you talk about the verb. And now our adverbs answer the question how. So hopefully that will help as well. All right, so the first sentence we're going to do is Philip runs quickly. And I tried to give you some simple sentences. I will include this in your assignment. The examples, I took a picture of it and I'll include that. So Philip runs quickly. So our subject is Philip. Remember how we do that? Okay, and underneath I'm going to write subject here. Our action word or verb is runs. Okay, so I added that in and I put verb underneath. And then quickly is telling us how he runs. So that is our adverb. So we're going to draw a slanted line under our verb. A slanted line under our nouns shows us that they're adjectives. A slanted line under our verb shows us that they're adverbs. So I'm going to write on the slanted line quickly. And then ADV is an okay abbreviation for adverb. So that's how you would diagram that sentence. And that's it for the first one. And I do have an example like that. Now, I'm going to add to this sentence. I'm going to say he runs very quickly. So I left our subject and our verb, Philip runs. So very quickly, so very is describing quickly, okay? So we're going to do our line on the side with quickly, which is our adverb. And then very goes underneath like that. And it's an adverb as well, but it's describing quickly. So adverbs can either describe verbs or other adverbs. Okay? So that's how you would do that. All right. So I'm going to give you another example, but this one's going to be different and trying to focus on a different something else that I'm looking for in making sure that we're using all the different techniques that we learned. So this one is Caroline walked quickly but quietly. Okay, so Caroline walked quickly but quietly. So our subject is Caroline. That is who this whole sentence is about, right? It's the beginning of our sentence. It makes sense. That's our subject. So you'd start like that. Caroline, what is she doing? What action word is she doing? So she walked. So that is our verb. So that goes here. Okay, so that's the beginning. Now, quickly but quietly. Quickly and quietly are both adverbs describing how she walked. So they're connected by one of those words that we used from the other examples, a conjunction, right? So we're going to do that here now. So off of the walked for the verb, you're going to draw one of those little arrows that we did before, but you're going to do it on a slant this time because it's coming off of the verb, okay? So but would go in here, and that's your conjunction. And then on these slanted lines, you would write your two adverbs. So I'm going to write those and then I'll show you. Quickly, quietly, and then ADV. So that's how it would look when you're done. So quickly, quietly, these are adverbs. Your conjunction is but. So you do have an example like that where you'll have two adverbs that are connected by a conjunction. So you'll have to draw the line off the verb and put both the adverbs on that line, like that missile that we draw. Or the arrow. It kind of looks like the FedEx arrow. All right. Our next one, so we had this kind of in one of the examples, and I'm sorry I didn't explain it more thoroughly before. When you have a verb that starts the sentence, it is kind of like almost considered like a command. So it's you understood. So you understand that you're talking to the person, you. So if you have, my sentence for now is be very quiet. So the other example for that was that hold the pitcher, hold the green water pitcher. So hold is the verb that started the sentence. There is no subject before hold, but the idea is that it's understood that you're talking to you. Okay, so you is the subject here. Even though it's not written, and sometimes what they do is they put it in parentheses because it's you understood. Okay, so you is your subject. Be is your verb or your action word. Okay, now this is tricky here because quietly, how she was quietly, but that's not how the sentence is written. Be very quiet. Quiet is the what, be what, okay? So that's a direct object. Okay, and then very is describing quiet, so that's an adjective. So we take a line down off of quiet and we write very as our adjective. So there is no adverb in this sentence. Remember, I'm giving you a little bit of everything that we learned over the week. So this one does not have an adverb, but I did give you this example, and there's one very similar to this in your homework. So if you pay attention to the example, you should do well with this. Last one. I quietly gave my mom the book. I quietly gave my mom the book. Okay, so this has a little bit of everything in there, okay? So we have our subject, I is our subject. Then we need to think, what is our action word? Quietly is not our action word. What did they do? They gave, okay? So gave is our action, that's our verb. All right, so quietly is describing gave. So quietly is our adverb. So when we come down off of gave, we're going to do an adverb here and do quietly. Like that. All right, gave what? So the what is our direct object, that's book. So book goes on the line here, and that's our direct object, okay? So then the is describing book, so that is an adjective coming off of book, the, ADJ. Now we still have my mom. My mom answers the question who, and who is the indirect object. So that comes off the verb. Now remember the difference, the slanted line is the adverb, the line that comes down and goes over is your indirect object. So mom would go on that line, and that is your IO. And then my describes mom, so my is your adjective off of mom. So that'll be your most challenging one. I think you have one question like this, but this is how you would do it. So you have an indirect and a direct object along with an adverb. and then some adjectives in there too. So if you have any questions, message me. I know that some of the students were sending messages. I did have a Google Hangout today scheduled. So if you're struggling with these, I'm going to just schedule a Google Hangout and I'll include that in this. So tomorrow, if you need to come in and learn anything or have any questions about any of the assignments all week, just come to that Google Hangout. I'll add it onto the lesson so that you guys can ask questions. So if that helps, please feel free to come and join us. And everybody's been doing great with this. I know it's challenging, and if you're not getting it right the first time, I will give you a chance to fix it. So I want you to learn from this. So just go ahead and let me know and I'll help you. All right, guys, I hope you're doing well. I hope you have a good weekend, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care.